Welcome to an all-new Behind the Box. I'm Robbie Biscoff, and we also have Rafael Rivera.
Hola!
And Nick Townsend.
What's up?
We're going to be talking a little bit today about Netflix picks, a new series we're starting this week. We'll have more on that a little bit later on. Also some news on the Heroes Reborn show, and something about a zombie run, and I'm not even going to try to speculate what's going on with that, so I'm going to turn it over to Rafael, who's going to talk about that a little bit. What's up, Rafael?
Don't you love zombies?
Yes, especially when they're getting killed by characters on the Walking
Well, now you can run away from them. In Perry, Georgia, they have this old town that was a former Cold War nuclear missile facility. And it's basically an entire town, including a full highway, subway system also, broken towns, and 300 plus cars. And they're setting
like
up
a ghost town.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're going to use this to have this zombie run. And a 5K there, and you can actually apply on your own if you want to run away by yourself or with a team. There's also pre-registration going on now. It's $75 at the door, so $49 now and $75 at the door. It's in Perry, Georgia, and
What is that close to?
Man,
Nothing?
it's in the middle of nowhere. It's
Well, that's kind of where nuclear test sites usually
Yeah.
are, so that makes sense.
yeah.
Now,
so-
are people? Is there a chance of anybody like getting killed or hurt during this? Like for real?
No, it's completely safe.
I mean, there's always a chance
Completely
of somebody getting
safe.
killed.
So like if some idiot actually believes he's a zombie and starts eating somebody,
Like somebody acts too much and goes and bites you. No.
Yeah. I mean that could happen, right?
I don't know. Well, I did try to scare somebody in a Halloween house, a haunted house they have in Atlanta. I tried to scare somebody, and then when I did that, they actually punched me in the face.
Yes, that is great.
So-
Because you do that to a lot of people.
I mean, it's that room. They line you up. They're like, you know, they line you up, and then I just got that urge, and then just saw some guy walking past really close. And I went, rah! And he goes, ha! Bah! Like it pops me in the
Yeah, I
nose.
was about to say I would be afraid I would get constantly knocked out by
So
doing that.
beware. Don't go too crazy. Just run.
At least you didn't get like a crowbar to the head, like through your skull, like always happens in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and it's funny he's talking about zombies here, but I mean we've got The Walking Dead's got this Dead, White, and Blue weekend they're promoting.
Oh man,
it's another opportunity for them to hoister out the Walking Dead episodes to make some money because we know that's their flagship show, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like they just want to put some kind of content on, and this is the best content they have. They're like,
what's a better way to celebrate independence than running zombie shows all day?
But I mean, like we talked about this earlier. If I wanted to watch Walking Dead all weekend, I'd just watch it on Netflix because the
True.
entire series is on there, and you don't have to have commercials. You can just watch it back to back to back.
binge watching
Yeah, but some
In the
people,
dark.
I don't know. Some people
in the dark with some snacks.
snacks. Yeah,
What
that
kind of
works.
snacks there,
But
Rafael?
I don't know. Some people like watching cable and commercials because they get up and do stuff during the.
True, it's nice to just have on, but if I'm just gonna seriously watch it, then I'm just gonna prop up whatever and bring up Netflix and watch it.
Yeah, well, speaking of Netflix, and is Heroes still on Netflix?
Heroes is definitely.
Heroes is still on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some Heroes
Yeah.
news. I mean, I know it's pretty old news by now that like the actual series itself is being rebooted, and they're going to try for next year in 2015 to do this Heroes Reborn series.
Yeah, I'm interested in this. I don't know, because the last one, or the original series, I really liked, especially the first season. But
That's what I was about. Is the first season was really good.
But then it started kind of falling off. They decided to stick with those same characters, and their storylines just didn't pan out.
Well, like I was talking to Rafael earlier, and I was, it's like when they got like they would develop these huge story arcs. Like this is such a cool arc. I wonder how they're gonna fix this. And you think it's gonna be stretched out. The next episode somebody goes, and like the plot's over. It's
Yeah.
just like the guy healed himself, or he traveled back in time and killed this dude, and now he doesn't exist.
Well, that's kind of the
And
problem
then-
that you get with superpowers is that anybody can have any superpower. So you're just like, oh, well, he has the superpower that fixes that.
We got door opening man. He can open any door.
Exactly.
I love the characters. I liked all of them, even if they just showed up for a little bit. But you know how they just started, the whole character and then killed them off, but then the following season, at the end of the season, you might see him again, like, and not even know it.
Well, and what I was going to say on that exact note is, now originally when they announced the series, they had talked about how they were going to do an all-new cast. There's going to be an all-new storyline. Well, now they've actually released some news that they're bringing a former cast member back, which is making everybody wonder, well, are they going to bring more? I don't know if you guys know this, but they've actually cast, I can't remember the dude's name, but he plays Noah Bennett, which is the guy in the horn-rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
And they've already announced that he's going to be part of the new show. So now I'm a little bit more intrigued to kind of figure out, because he was like the kind of the collector of the bad guys, in the beginning of the series.
He's definitely one of the central characters, and like he was very interesting because he didn't have superpowers.
Yes, exactly.
And he was defeating all these superheroes just by outwitting them. So that was interesting. But they went a few different ways with this character. I don't know where they're gonna go again.
Well, that's what I mean too. It was like he was good, he was bad, he was and it's almost like Sylar, because it was like I loved like the villain Sylar, and I even liked when they tried to make him a good guy. But then it just kind of, I don't even remember what happened in the final year.
Well, I feel like he had every superpower imaginable, and there was nothing else that anybody could do, kind of thing. It was just like, okay, well, he can do what he wants, so he'll just choose to be good or be bad, and then we'll just make the show around that. But
yeah, well, Heroes Reborn, don't have any kind of a date yet on it, but
next year sometime.
Yeah, next year sometimes. Did they say it's going to be the winter, right, or is it the fall? I don't know what they're shooting for. Oh no, I think it's going to be a summer event.
Winter is coming.
Oh yeah, well that's Game of Thrones, and we talked about that last week. So.
Speaking of games,
yeah, we got a great segue right there. So what's going on with Payday 2, Nick?
So have you guys ever seen the movie Heat?
I have to say no.
Al Pacino.
I think so.
And Robert De Niro. Have you ever seen The Town with Ben Affleck? Have you ever seen The Score?
You're digging, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm searching. Have you ever seen Point Break?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
God bless, I still haven't seen it.
Oh man.
Oh.
How
So
you know me?
this game is Payday 2, and so right now there's not a lot going on with video games during the summer. A lot of them, it kind of goes dark during the summer. I guess they think people that play video games want to go outside, which that's not always accurate. But there's one sale called the Steam Summer Sale, and it's for PC games, and it's this huge sale where you can get games like this that are normally $60. I got this game for $6 and started playing it, and I actually owned it already on Xbox 360, but the PC version had been updated a lot more. With Xbox 360, I mean, not to get into the nitty gritty, but it was hard for them to update it. So it was a very baseline game. In this game on PC, they went a lot farther with it. So a friend and I have been playing with it. It's basically robbing banks with friends. So it's
something we all often do every now and then when we're hanging out.
Hey, kill the teller!
Yeah. Well, you yell at people to get on the ground. You zip tie their hands.
Oh, see.
And you can go in. It's cool because you can go in stealth. You like take out all the cameras and take out some guards and put them in body bags and throw them in the back.
That is awesome.
All the things we like to do on the weekends.
Or you can just go in guns blazing and shoot everybody and like crack the safe and the cops come and everything like that. So I've just been playing that a lot. That's pretty much what I've been playing right now because there's nothing else really coming out that's new. It's kind of an old game, but it's fun to play with your friends. But what we got?
Yeah, we got this picture here of a watch, but it looks like we've got some funky stuff going on in the watch.
Well, you know how much I like gadgets and all.
And funky stuff.
And funky stuff.
Visit android.com/wear to watch some videos and get some education on these Android watch.
So, Apple was talking about doing this for a while, right? Is Apple doing an iWatch or something?
Did they ever do it?
I haven't seen anything yet, but I have seen a lot of Android paired watches with your phone.
I like that because I have Android stuff.
Right, but it's standalone user interface.
Oh, it's not paired with your phone?
You can pair your calls coming through it, in that sense, but as far as applications, it has its own.
Okay.
There's only a few developed right now, but in the future, imagine it already knowing where where you are, and it'll already list the closest restaurants based on what you want to do with your what you want to do with your
So
watch.
right there it has
From
flight-
reminders,
flight
etc.
information.
Weather,
I-
flight
I
information.
would definitely use something like this.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because I wear a watch all the time. Anyway,
Yeah, me
so you
too.
wear a
See,
watch.
I'm not a big watch wearer, so
Maybe you can get it on a headband.
I'd rather just
Well,
pull
if you
out
had a
my
smart
iPhone.
watch, then you know, maybe. But
Maybe.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It's like a secret agent watch.
Yeah, that's cool. Can it
Now,
shoot-
is there like any
shoot
kind of a
lasers?
time frame when they're gonna put this out, or is it just in development? What's going on with that?
Right now, it's in development stage. They just announced that it's
All
going
they've
to be
done is
coming out.
that image.
It was just photoshopped on the things. I mean,
Well, the only apps currently are GPS, the calculator, and the weather. But then it also reacts to your surroundings via GPS locations and restaurants, etc. So I think it'll definitely is a good platform for it to grow even bigger. And look out for it. Go ahead and buy it.
Go ahead and buy it.
I
Put
don't
your
know
order
if
in
I'd
now.
buy it, but
Just
not
do-
so sure.
You know what I'm not so sure about? True Blood.
Is it True Blood?
No.
Yeah, you don't like True Blood, do you?
I don't
You're
know,
not a big
it's-
True Blood fan.
It's
Is this the
it's too much of
vampire
a-
one?
it's the vampire soap opera that comes on HBO.
Oh, it's
Oh.
a lot. It's a lot more than vampires, but it's like
I
it's every type of supernatural you could think. They get mixed.
Oh,
in.
really?
Yeah. I mean, first season is heavily like with the vampires, and that's pretty much the main part. But then like they move on to a Maenad and witches and werewolves and
so they
fairies.
go all the way in.
Like as they go on. But I thought I'd say a little something about the final. This is the final season of True Blood.
Did
It's on.
it just end or is it on?
No,
right
no.
now?
It's on right now. Its second episode aired Sunday night. So they're in the final season right now, and I'm kind of trying to figure out if I like it or not because like the first season of the show was the slowest one, but it was also the one that was most realistic and like felt like it was a movie kind of production where the vampires and because the whole thing is to make it quick. It's a world where vampires have come out of the closet and they're like living among the humans because there's a synthetic drink called True Blood that they can drink instead of drinking other humans' blood. And it's like a whole controversial thing in the first season because one of the characters falls in love and dates the guy, and he's a vampire, and it's that whole Twilight type story, except a lot more sex, gore, and nudity and all that
It's
type
on
of
HBO.
stuff. added
Wait,
into it.
You just
Yeah.
touched on sex, but I know there's a whole lot going on in that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's a show on HBO.
yeah, I mean, it's an HBO show. You're going to see
got a
lots
point.
of hoo-has and woo-wahs and things.
You see him giggle? Yeah!
I like talking. No, I'm not. You know what? I'm moving on. I'm not going to embarrass myself any further. But anyways, the final season, they're coming back to the small town, and a group of these vampires. There's two types of vampires, and a group of them that have this disease that's killing them, and they have to live off drinking healthy human blood. And so the town is like got healthy vampires protecting the people. So it's like for every human, there's a vampire, and they have to stay together
Oh, okay.
in order to stay safe.
Buddy system.
Yeah, and they're going with this end of the world type thing because basically the virus is sweeping through and the vampires are killing they stop in one town, kill everybody, move to the next, kill everybody there. So
The baddies.
Aren't they getting rid of all their food though?
yes, they are, but they're desperate and
I
they're
guess
not
they have
thinking.
to be,
So
yeah.
it's just kind of happening and they kill off a main character in the first episode. And I'm not going to say who it is, but I feel it's still a pretty good show, worth watching. It's not as good as the first couple seasons, but it is the final season, so I would say give it a watch and see if you enjoy it. And if you like vampires exploding next to somebody's crotch, I think that would be the ultimate thing to see on True Blood. So
Exploding crotches.
no,
tonight.
well, some
On
article
True
was
Blood.
saying exploding crotches. Nobody's crotch exploded. The vampire exploded next to somebody's crotch, and they weren't naked or anything like that.
But still, there was a crotch explosion.
yeah, there's a crotch explosion.
So moving on.
Moving on from that, Band of Brothers. What a horrible place to go to after talking about that.
There's a lot of explosions.
I like this show. I really
You've seen
do.
it.
I have.
It's a great show. I was talking with somebody I work with today. Is that this is how I want to I'm not from that generation, but this is the vision of World War II that I want to have in my memory. Like the way that this show looks. It has that.
I can agree with that.
Have you ever
I can
seen
agree
it,
with that.
Bobby?
No, I haven't.
It's
good, man.
It's
You
Oh,
really
no, I
good.
want to see
binge
that.
watch the crap out of this.
Yeah, it's a mini series. So it's just, I think it's like 10 or 12 episodes, and it's following this one company in the airborne division.
What was the name of the company?
The 506. Easy Company.
There it is.
That's what it
Easy
was.
Company.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
rewatched an episode, and there's some characters in there that I forget. Like Michael Fassbender is in it. David Schwimmer is like kind of the villain in the beginning. Yeah.
I didn't know David Schwimmer was.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
How about Jennifer Aniston, Matthew Perry, and?
Nope. All the friends are not there. They will not be there for you.
They'll be blown up.
Hand grenade.
What's his name? Damian Lewis from Homeland is in it, and he is like the nicest, best character. So I saw him in Homeland, and I was all upset, but because in this, he's like, the all-American hero kind of a guy. He represents Winters, and so he's kind of like the linchpin for Easy Company, and all the stories revolve around it. But each one kind of takes them throughout the Normandy invasion, and then throughout the occupation of Europe. And there's another one called The Pacific that they made later on about the Pacific, the war in the Pacific.
Now, is that directly related to this? Same production company, same people, or is it kind of...
but it's different. It's not as good.
Different show, different war.
Yeah, exactly. And this is based off of the book by Stephen A. Ambrose, Band of Brothers, which I actually read the book as well, but I'm that one guy that likes the show better.
Is this available in high def anywhere? Is it on Blu-ray?
Yeah, I actually own it on Blu-ray.
Ooh, awesome.
And it's in HD on HBO Go.
Oh,
so
sweet.
all of it's on HBO Go. A lot of people have that. You can catch
How many
it on
parts?
there. I believe it's 12 parts, and they're each an hour.
Oh, cool.
And it's a very linear series, so it takes you through each part. But they kind of focus on different characters, and then there's one episode called The Replacements, because half the characters die in the first half of the series, so they have to be replaced by these new guys. So it introduces some new characters, but it's just we got the 4th of July coming up. Might be a good.
Oh yeah, that would be better than a zombie marathon.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sometimes they'll put it on the History Channel, so maybe it'll come on that, and they'll do a marathon, something like that. But that's on HBO Go, which not everybody has.
No, but a lot of people do have Netflix.
Pretty much everybody.
And that's our new little thing we're going to be doing every week, Netflix picks. So we're going to be talking about that. And Nick, tell a little bit about Netflix picks.
So the idea behind Netflix picks is just Netflix is on a lot of devices now. So pretty much any DVD player. Well, I don't know anybody that buys DVD players anymore, but any Blu-ray player, a lot of TVs it's built in. You can get the Google Chrome little USB thing that goes in and do it off your phone if you want to. So the idea behind that is like there's so much content on Netflix, but there's not a whole lot of new stuff like recent releases. So we kind of want to go back into the catalog and find the things that we hold dear.
Because there's plenty of shows out there that
people
have not shows and movies.
And great stuff.
And
even original stuff.
Original Netflix stuff. Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
So that's kind of the idea behind it.
So we got the first pick here, and that's your pick. Like Rafael, you want to talk about
that? Yeah. I actually just watched this last night.
Oh, is this on Netflix now?
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Well, I actually got the disc.
Okay.
Because I'll go back and I'll watch whatever's on, streaming. But then there's always a difference when you actually check out the DVD. So then I actually just get one. I might binge watch some other stuff, and then I'll just get one every, so often. So my queue is about 12 deep. But finally got to this one, and you kind of forget when you set all your discs. You kind of forget when you do like 12 up, and then it ends up there. So I got the disc, and I didn't really know, what I got. So I popped it in, and there was a Simon Pegg movie. If you've seen a movie like Shaun of the Dead, namely, is where. Same kind of cast.
What was the other one? Hot Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz is another one. I think there's some other one also. But they pride themselves on a lot of action, choreography and all that stuff.
British humor.
Right. So it's a group of friends who are doing this pub crawl, and you think it's like this attempt for this guy, one of the coolest guy in the group of young men. an attempt for like therapy, whatever. So they do this pub crawl, and then they run into this invasion, like an alien invasion of these robots who are trying to convince them that they're trying to change the world. So they invaded this whole area, and it kind of gets a little silly towards the end of how they got rid of them. But watch the
anything like Mars Attacks. Has anybody seen that movie before?
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's crazy movie.
If that does show, if that shows up on the stream, then I might watch.
Oh, is it on Netflix?
Or if it's on, or
It might be on Netflix.
it might be. I'm not. I can't.
It's been a while since
I
I've seen
can't
it.
confirm it though. But if it's on, I'll just watch it. But anyways,
those movies kind of always go downhill at the end. They put all the good jokes in the beginning, and then once they get really into the meat of it, it's like,
I mean, I started the movie not knowing what's going to happen. How sometimes you see the trailers, and you don't really, you kind of already get this idea of what the movie already is. But this one, I just had no clue, so I just popped it in and trusted my previous instincts of my list, and it seemed pretty good. It really, was surprising because I didn't know where the movie was going, so it went from like this coming of age kind of growing up movie to like boom, it's this catastrophe. This whole town is a bunch of robots and like they're taking over.
So is it anything? Okay, I gotta compare another movie like that George Clooney movie with the werewolves or the vampires. Have you From Dusk Till Dawn or whatever? Have you
oh
ever
my
seen
god,
that movie?
that movie is crazy.
That is
I like
like
that one.
I remember watching that. Like the whole first half of it's like this gangster movie and
Yeah, they're like demons or something. I think that's what they like in the bar there. I think that's.
But you don't know it's coming, and it's like all this like crime and all this stuff going on, and
It's
then
like,
all of a sudden like halfway through the movie like all this shit starts happening. You're like, wait, what movie am I watching?
is that Robert Rodriguez that directed that, or is that Quentin Tarantino?
No, that was Quentin Tarantino. I'm
He's
pretty
in
sure.
it.
Oh, but it wasn't his movie?
I don't know if he directed it. I don't think he did. I think it was Robert Rodriguez.
Maybe somebody else.
I mean, I know they're close. Like,
We'll Google it later.
yeah,
Definitely have to take the Google later on that.
Google challenge.
All right, so I got to pick. Who's got the next one?
Well,
I got the next pick.
Hey.
He's falling asleep over there. He doesn't like interesting conversations. So The West Wing is my pick. A beloved show by many people.
I don't know about that, man.
Oh, it is.
I can tell you something about this guy here.
Bradley Whitfield?
You know his name?
Yeah,
I always
watched the
think of
show
like,
all the time.
what's that movie? Billy Madison, where he's like...
Oh, yeah.
He's like...
I'm not denying that the
Sorry.
show's legendary or anything. I'm just saying for some reason I just didn't click when I watched
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you like more action-oriented stuff. And they definitely don't show any of the action. If there's action going on, it's behind the scenes. But the dialogue is excellent. So basically Aaron Sorkin created this show, and it's from like the mid '90s, I guess. There's 7 seasons of it on Netflix, all of the seasons.
Love that about Netflix.
The first like four seasons are pretty good, and then Aaron Sorkin started doing way too much cocaine and like writing an episode in one night the night before they were shooting. But the basis of the show is he wanted to find the place that had the most interesting conversations because he likes writing dialogue, and the dialogue in this is really good. And they also revolutionized the walk and talk. So I think they got, what is it? Is it Emmys? The television awards? It's Emmys, right? Or Golden Globes?
I don't know.
Anyways, whatever not the Academy Awards, but the
Definitely
TV
not
version.
Academy Award. Yeah.
But they won a few for cinematography because they do this whole Steadicam thing where somebody's having an extended conversation and they're walking through the White House and they walk with them and carry the whole conversation as they're walking and talking. But it's I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a really good show, and if you like drama through conversation, and if you like dialogue and really well done dialogue, you'll like this show. He directed a Facebook movie, The Social Network.
Saw that.
So if you like that and you like that kind of style, you might
Well,
like
and
it.
Aaron
I think
Sorkin
you let me
has
borrow
created
that
the
one.
Newsroom.
Also
too.
in the Newsroom.
The Newsroom's
but the
really
Newsroom I don't think is as good as this. I like this better.
Well, then I like the Newsroom. So maybe
might like
I
this.
should give West Wing a second chance.
But West Wing is like the Newsroom, only better.
But see, now I will admit, the first time I watched The West Wing was like way back right after it. Like the first season came out on DVD. I bought the DVD.
Oh, okay.
So when was this? Like 90? What, 6, 7?
Six,
Somewhere. It's
7?
in that period somewhere. So I had a lot less patience
Right
for
around when
watching
Jurassic
something.
Park came out, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah, and all that.
95, 96 are like $30 and $40 a piece.
Yeah, they were. Big money over here.
You buy it on laser disc, man.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
That's when I started my huge TV show and DVD collection.
With the West Wing?
No. But I mean, that was in that time. I mean, first ever series I bought on DVD was actually the X-Files, which was one of the first series that was ever released in a season set.
But that's not on Netflix, right?
No, actually, X-Files is on Netflix.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
What else is on there?
Oh, there's a lot of other shows.
What was that one you're talking about?
You know, speaking of other shows, and I have to fly past this here because I should have had that later.
That's a
but,
nice logo.
Yeah. It's a nice. Thanks, Nick, for making that nice looking graphic. But what the frack, man? We got this. Yeah, I had to say it. Nick hates when I say that. He can't stand it.
It's the worst thing.
Is that why you stopped
Battlestar?
watching?
That's why I stopped watching Battlestar. It's because it's a network TV, so it's not premium cable, so they couldn't say the F word.
No, yeah.
So they replaced it with frack, and they use it so much, like they love it.
Oh yeah, and they use it explicitly too. Like they say things like, you know, more than just frack. You know, it's like they really they really get into some of the meanings of it.
This is fracking unbelievable.
I mean that sounded like Smurfy, like they're using.
Well, it was supposed to be like, you know, it's this whole other culture that, you know, maybe their bad word is frack. And,
no, I mean it is, yeah, and I get that, but it just took me out of it.
But ignoring the frack part of it, you know, I have to say when somebody recommended this show to me, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I love the show Lost. I'm a huge Lost addict. And they were like, oh, if you really love Lost, you'll love Battlestar Galactica. And I was like, really? Battlestar Galactica? I was like, isn't it that show with like that, you know, that weird robots and crap in it, you know?
Well, because it was an old show.
Yeah.
Like this is the new generation.
Yeah, this is the new version of it here.
Have you ever watched the old one?
Actually, I did watch the old one a little bit.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It seems like sometimes it's hard to go back and watch that old stuff like that. Like even the West Wing being from the 90s, like it's in 4x3 and everything is you know, like old technology and stuff like that. It's not quite. It kind of
yeah. I did try watching the old one after I watched the new one just to kind of see, and the storyline's kind of similar, but it's just corny. It's just too hokey. And I have people tell me, no, the original's the best, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
Say the same thing about Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, I've never even seen Doctor Who, but you know,
I don't watch that.
Ultimately, the plot of Battlestar Galactica, despite it being, because what got me into it, despite it being a space backdrop, is these people, their planet was attacked by the Cylons and invaded by these Cylons, which in the original series, Cylons were just pure robots. And in this series, the Cylons can look and be exactly like a human being.
Like the woman in red.
And that's one of the main Cylons on the screen right there, and they picked a really, really good actress to play the main Cylon, I will say that. But she's one of the main ones, and actually some of the main characters of the show throughout the series are revealed to be Cylons. And I'm not going to say which one, because that's the biggest mystery of the show as it goes on, is who is the Cylons and where did they come from and their origins and all that. But they do some crazy plot twists. Like every season at the end, almost like Lost, they twist it all completely around and start with a whole new story. And you know, they even have them like going, they go home and find this planet to live on, because that was their whole goal, is their planet got destroyed. So they're looking for this new planet. And they find a new place to live, and then the Cylons come and take over, and they're back to where they were, and then they're held prisoner for like a whole season. So it's a really interesting storyline, and I've watched it all the way through. It has a really good ending. It's worth watching the whole thing just to get to the ending.
That's definitely important to you. I know we've talked about that before. Is like when a show just leaves it open, or when they end it badly.
I don't mind a little open.
Play Journey and then like
oh god,
don't want any more.
Started on The Sopranos finally. Oh man, I hated that.
Oh my!
I remember when that show. You got me going now. I remember when that show was on. I was watching it with my parents, and when he goes into the diner and it cuts, me and my dad both stood up because we thought our cable had went out. We were just like, no! And then we waited, and then like the credits came up, and we were like, wait a minute.
We missed something?
You gotta be kidding me, you know? And they never kind of did anything after that.
They weren't kidding you.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not kidding.
I was really upset about that. I cried for days.
Checking the
and days.
DVD, like, checking the time code.
But I binged watched The Sopranos, so I didn't really was not into them from the beginning. I watched I picked up a bunch of the DVDs and watched them in a row.
But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I like that. I like consuming content that way. Like that's how I did with Game of Thrones. So I just watched them back to back, and it was easier because with that show they always talk about like characters moving around, they don't know what happened or they don't remember, but when you binge watch something, you remember because you just watched it.
No, I couldn't agree more because I've gotten more out of binge watching than I do like if I was to watch it a week apart, because it just keeps you into that story more, and you know you can get your fix like right after that. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
oh, what happens next?
Another
Okay,
one.
play. You know, and then you're
Is
watching.
it bad for your health to binge watch?
Well, it depends on how many would you
You need
consider
to ask
binge
yourself
watching?
I
this
mean,
question.
if your eyes start bleeding, I'd say you gotta
You're
stop.
like, oh, I got to bed so late, I can't watch my 3 episodes.
My brother definitely is like,
Upset.
my brother is not into media, and so usually I'm showing him something. I'm like, hey, watch this new show. Like, this is really good. And he'll be like, all right, but I'm about to go to bed.
You're
And-
his media Sherpa.
And yeah, basically. And well, I mean, that's part of what I want
Yeah.
to do with this show is kind of like introduce cool shows to people. But so I'll show him a new show. I'm like, hey, you know, there's a few episodes of this out now. Like, you want to watch one real quick? And he's like, yeah, but I'm probably gonna pass out. And then the show ends, and he's laying there. He's like, next episode, and we watched like 4 episodes.
That was how I got into 24.
Yeah.
Because I picked up the first season on DVD, and it was like I could not stop going through the whole thing. I think I watched the first 12 episodes in a matter of 12 hours. It was just like this straight. It was like one long movie. I was like, oh, and then I went to bed at like 3 in the morning wondering what was going to happen. I got up at like 7 to watch the rest of it.
Watch
It was
the
like,
next
whoa.
12
And it
hours.
was like, I got to watch it in real time, just like the actual show. Yeah. Like,
I'm really there.
Boop, beep, boop.
oh, here we go with the clock again.
And he changed his ringtone.
The beep,
Beep,
boop.
boop.
Well, and I've got some I'll throw at you guys because today is the 30th birthday for something, for a piece of technology. Does anybody know? Has to do with electronics, music. Anybody have an idea?
The Walkman?
Yes, you got it. And when I say today, we're filming this on a Tuesday, so it's gonna air a little bit later.
I was like, well, because I was like, well, iPod did not come out that long ago, and I was like, 30 years ago, that's like the beginning of portable audio. So the Walkman.
yes. Did you have a Walkman?
I did not. I had a Discman.
Oh, okay. Well,
That was the next
I
step.
had a Walkman, and then I
That's
had a
nice.
Discman. But see,
You're aging.
I was late to the
You're
technology.
aging yourself. I was not late, however. I had a Walkman. And I loved it.
Was that like a wax cylinder thing? That, like,
No, no, it was actually pretty nice. I had the little dial for the radio, you know, and put my
Nice.
tapes in, made
Remember
my
those-
mixtapes.
Remember those like headphones that were like a radio as well? Like they had the antenna.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about those.
Those were great.
That lasted a couple years.
Well, they were like bright yellow, so nobody really wanted them.
Oh, they shrunk them down, you know, to like little squares, you know. Where it's, you know, I still see runners wear them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I guess it's better than having a wire attached to something in your pocket, I guess. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
it makes
whatever.
sense.
Well, you have Bluetooth nowadays, though, so you don't even have to have a
Well,
wire.
you know,
I just got the
it's,
Bluetooth.
it only gets better.
The technology. Newer is always better.
Well, not always.
That's
but,
from How I Met Your Mother. You ever watch that?
yeah.
That's all on Netflix too.
Yes,
I
yes.
binge watched
I'm on and off with it. I've made it through the 3rd season.
Oh yeah, I told you.
Yeah,
to watch that.
I was watching it, but I keep getting involved in other shows, and it's like, you know. In fact, I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones last night, thanks to you.
Yeah, what do you
So
think?
I liked it, but I gotta watch more.
I think you do
Gosh.
too.
I need HBO
Yeah,
bad.
I agree. Yeah, you do.
I'm slacking off. I need it, but I don't know if I can justify the purchase.
Might be able to hook you up with codes or
So?
something.
Oh,
Yeah, if I trust you.
Trust me,
Can I
man.
like? How can I? Can we write a contract where like?
No.
Well, I think
what
we
the
about
first
come to the
road
end of the
trial
road,
is.
guys. We're out of
That's all we
subject
got,
matters,
huh?
and that's it. And I did throw that Walkman thing in there just because I thought that was pretty neat. So that's pretty much going to do it for this edition of Behind the Box. Stay with us. coming up next week.
We got more of the
You're trying to end the show, man.
We're gonna have to edit this probably.
No, it's fine.
No, you don't.
So
It's fine.
next week we'll have more picks for you, more
stuff.
More Netflix
More stuff to
picks,
watch, basically.
definitely. And we'd also like to say a special thanks to Jay Burgess and the
Of the
production
Production
warehouse.
Warehouse.
We have it right this time. So.
You didn't join in.
Well, I didn't know if I would be in chorus with you guys.
Oh,
I run a different wavelength.
You're a deep bass.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know if I
He's
could.
the tenor.
You could
and
throw
I'm
a
not
harmony in there, maybe.
But yeah, we would like to thank Jay Burgess of the Production Warehouse, also Donald Smith, Lucky Dog Television Productions, and we'd like to thank you for watching this show, and hopefully you'll continue to watch it, and then we can gain some more viewers. Until next time, we'll see you
Share.
later.
Later.